But other than that, and Quetta, yeah, I shouldn't have gone to Quetta. I ran into some Taliban in Quetta.
Did you?
Yeah, and having tea with them.
What? So, how did... Tell the story then.
Well, I came in from southeast Iran through an area called Baluchistan. And Baluchistan is a really... If there's ever going to be a dodgy area that isn't actually a war zone, Baluchistan is going to be the dodgy area. It's where the very southern tip of Afghanistan and southeast Iran and southwest Pakistan meet.
Okay.
And it's where a lot of the opium comes out. And but it was the only way I could get through. So the first town in Pakistan is called Quetta. And Quetta is very close to the Afghan border. It's literally, I think, here to probably a bit the other side of Braunton, but it's not far away. And there's just a pass that goes through the mountains. So it's quite a fluid border. It's quite an open border. And I had a couple of days or a few days in Quetta. I don't know why I stayed there. I should have just got straight out again. But I spent a few days there, and I was walking down the road one day, and this group of men stopped me in the street. And I never saw a Western person or somebody who wasn't local in town the whole time I was there. It just wasn't a place people went. And this group of men stopped me, and one of them spoke English, the only one that did. And he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I can't. Well, I was just walking around town." So, and one of those weird questions, which is so simple yet quite hard to answer. And I was like, "Well, I'm just looking around." And he goes, "Well, where are you from?" I said, and I thought sometimes some travellers, they, in awkward situations, they bullshit and they try and choose neutral countries and pretend they're from somewhere else. And I don't do that. I think, well, if it's going to be a problem, let's just sort it out, because you get caught out later. And if you're caught out as a liar, and you can really end yourself in awkward situations. So I'm from the UK, and they're okay. And they were like, "All right, well, do you want to go for tea?" And I'm very curious about when I meet foreigners, you know what I mean? I easily drawn into situations. And I want to know what this group of guys, only about 5-6 of them. I thought, okay, well, it's middle of the day. I know it's a bit of a dangerous town, but it'd be okay. So I said, yeah, we'll go tea, as long as it's cafe.
Did you feel obliged to? Did you feel like you couldn't say no?
A little bit pressure, but I could have got out of it. But I at the same time, I could tell the way that they'd met me, and one was translating, and they were all like focused on me. I thought, these guys really want to meet me. This wasn't a casual, "Oh, how you doing, mate?" This was like they wanted to talk to me about something. So I was like, yeah, okay. They said, we go cafe. Yeah, cafe. In other words, public. So we went to this cafe, and cafes over in that part of Pakistan is just basically a yard, and you have usually a young boy who runs backwards and forwards with tea, and you have an older guy who runs it, and he just stirs tea in this massive cauldron. So tea is not, it's made in huge quantities, 50 litre. And so we all sat down, and tea was brought, and this guy started talking to me. And he said, "Okay, well, I just want to say that myself and my friends here were Taliban from Afghanistan." And of course, this is 2008, which is right during the war, So my country was just across the border in Helmand province, fighting these same people. And he said, "Yeah, we come across because it's got very hot over there, as in dangerous." And he says, "We come over for a break, stop, and we go back." I was like, "Oh shit, what do I do?" So I'm sat as a British guy talking to Taliban. And I wasn't quite, I thought, well, I'm going to have to make this up. I didn't really have any plan. I didn't know what to do. And I thought, well, okay, Stockholm syndrome, you just kind of empathize or work with them rather than automatically being on the defense or attacking or anything else. You just kind of work with it, So I was like, okay. So why are you fighting? And I started asking him questions. I said, what do you think about I come from the UK, my culture and your culture. And we started talking, and he was saying about how he purely wanted to defend his land, he wanted his land back, he wanted the foreigners out, and how he and his friends, they didn't understand our culture, they didn't understand how women half naked could walk on the beach, and all this kind of thing, because it kind of it was horrible in their eyes. It was just not how they grew up, blah blah blah. And I started to think, okay, I can't ever agree with you in the fact of some of your human rights. I can't ever agree with how you treat women. There's a lot of things I'll never ever agree with you, but one, I can't do anything about it, and two, I do understand that you are from a completely different culture and see the world in a very different way than I do. And at the end of the day, it wasn't my country that was invaded.
Yeah.
It was your country that was invaded by people who actually really had nothing to do with it, So I had to kind of go with it, but I kind of went with it, and I thought, yeah, no, fair play,
How did that play out then? How did it get to a point where you went your separate ways and you realised that you were okay?
Well, I said to him, I said, okay. I said, there are Taliban, I know there's Taliban in this town. They sneak across the border, they chill out, they go back. It's like a safe house almost for Taliban. I said, okay, so what would happen now if Taliban came in through the gates of this yard and they had AK-45s, AK-47s, and they opened fire? And he said, I would take the first bullet for you.
Wow.
I said, well, why? He said, because are you government? I said, well, no. He said, are you army? I said, no. He said, well, why are you here? I said, well, because I want to learn. I want to meet people. I want to understand the culture, see the scenery. I just want to see the world, And he goes, well, in that case, you are a guest. And as a guest to the Afghan, we will protect you. So I'll take the bullet for you. You are my guest.
Wow.
And I said, well, what about the second bullet? He said, well, I'll be dead, so you're on your own then. He translated to his friends, and they also thought it was hilarious. But
that's amazing.
But yeah, and yeah, so we all shook hands, and yeah, I just went on my way.